Michael Frankel, joined by Daniel James. It's fight week. Going to be in the LFA 77 main event. It's the finals of the heavyweight tournament. Thank you for the time, sir. How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Talked to you before you fought Patrick Martin, and my impressions from that performance, I think yikes is a good word to describe the destruction you did there. I'm like, wow. How did you feel about your performance there in the semifinals?
The fight against Patrick White, man, was amazing. I had fun in that fight. I just set out and said what I was going to do, and I just followed through with my game plan, and I was stoked by it. I took that I gave you guys what we all talked about, what we was looking for. you know.
How do you describe the power and ferocity in the ground and pound and in those grappling stages? You were throwing Patrick Martin, not a small man, around.
Man, the thing is, it just I always look at a guy and try to and if the guy give me an opening, man, I just willing to take it. When I tap with somebody, I'm always looking to execute my judo. I just, I developed a lot of judo because I was never a big wrestler. I was still learning a lot about wrestling, so I just learned that a lot of Greco is kind of the same as judo. Working from the top. Once I got my hands around them, I knew that I wanted to execute a good throw, and it worked out according to game plan.
And did you already know? Do you think that your ground and pound is that vicious?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to sound cocky about it, but I think my ground and pound is something to see when I do it. When I do execute the ground and pound, it's something that everybody wants to see. You know what I'm saying? And it's exciting. It's really exciting to watch.
The fight stopped. You're pulling out you get your hair down. You're shaking your head. The excitement.
Yeah.
What was that moment like for you?
That moment was amazing. I felt that I gave LFA something unique as being a heavyweight, just to go undefeated on the LFA platform. I felt that I gave LFA something to see besides not just being the big guy. I didn't want to just be the big guy. Oh, he's a big dude. He's a heavyweight, and claim that. I wanted them to see that, like, man, he can really throw down, and he's something to watch. I'm the guy when you watch me in the ring and say, I look like I could take him until you get in front of me.
There had been buzz, but do you feel like you really jumped on the radar with that performance?
I think I opened their eyes with the Kalen Hill performance, and then I think I really jumped on the radar after the Patrick Martin performance. Because the thing is, I beat Kalen Hill, and I was set up to destroy Patrick Martin. I just realized that fight against Kalen Hill, I'm like, I can't just beat guys. I have to destroy you. And I just set out to just put my focus on destroying Patrick Martin and force them to open their eyes wide enough so they can see.
What did you think of the other semifinal? Obviously, now you're going to be fighting Brett Martin. But what did you think of that craziness, his fight with Renan Ferreira?
Man, you know what? The fight was, at the end of the day, it's rules. It is rules. And as a professional, as a fighter, we have to understand the rule. We do put our life on the line, get in the ring. Getting hit in the back of the head is not a thing. In the sport, you don't want to do that. It causes a lot of damage to guys. Guys got family, kids, and wives and stuff. But the thing is, I really wanted to see the fight going. I know Brett Martin was disappointed that he couldn't really execute what he wanted to execute on the LFA platform. But it's like I said, it was nothing against him. He came to do what he had to do. Renan Ferreira just went in. I think he wasn't seasoned enough to understand the rules of the MMA system. He's a tall guy, but I wasn't really too impressed by what was going on. I really wanted to see Brett Martin win that fight, just because I really had Brett Martin winning. I thought Brett Martin was going to go in and weather the storm with him, and it seemed like that's what he was doing until he got hit in the back of the head.
And now, what do you think about facing Brett Martin? We obviously didn't get to see the best of his in LFA, but a guy that's shown off a lot of great wrestling throughout his time and some great grappling.
Yeah, well, fighting against Brett Martin, he's a wrestler. I fight against a lot of wrestlers. And, everybody's different. Everybody's not the same. Everybody got some trick up their sleeves. My thing is I get ready for the fight. If I'm going to fight a wrestler, I'm 6'5", man. So half the guys I fight really going to try to take me down anyway. So, what I'm saying? I just learned that, my executions, my reflexes, my athleticism plays a part in that and my condition. I move well. I get the way out of danger a lot fast at the most. I understand that once I touch a guy, he's gonna try to take me down. When the bell rings, you have two choices. You cannot come out lackadaisy against me. You got to come out and try to go right at me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready. I'm always ready for those 2 points. You know what I'm saying? So fight Brett Martin. It'll be a good show, man. I'm ready to have some fun. I don't put no other fighter down. I don't look past any other fighter. It's a fight, and at the end of the day, it's a heavyweight division. You got to do what you got to do, and you got to make sure that you the one that got your hand raised at the end.
What are going to be Daniel James's keys for success come Friday night?
My key to success Friday night is go out there and do what I have to do, man. Wherever the fight go, like I told you before. If it's standing, if it's on the ground, I'm comfortable. I look for submissions. I look to stand up. But either knockout or submission, man. That's what I'm looking for. Whatever it takes, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. I'm equipped to go any round. If it was 10, I can go 10. And at the end of that fight, man, I have to be victorious.
Coming out of LFA 67, when you went back to the gym, what were your biggest focuses on? Where were the biggest areas that you wanted to improve?
When I left the last LFA fight, 67 with Patrick Martin, I left that, and I wasn't satisfied. Even though it was a ground and pound game, I gave them a little something, but I want to give them a little more. Because that fight, I don't think that fight was enough to keep me where I want. I went back to the gym and just worked a bunch of stuff. Worked on my speed. Worked a lot on my, put my striking back up the part. Went back and started doing my wrestling and doing my judo and started to just polish up some things. Like I said, I could be master of all trades, man. You know what I'm saying? Jack of all trades, master of none, but the thing is, I know something. And I just went and executed and polished up, and me and the coaches went back to the table and figured out what next and what we had to do to get better and better every day. So I just stayed in shape, stayed conditioned. I'm at weight right now. I was at weight last week. So I'm just really just walking around chilling and just, keeping my body right and healthy and just, getting ready for war.
Is that normal, or are you speeding up that process?
No, it's normal. I'm in the gym. I practically own the gym. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the gym, man, all the time. So I'm always pushing, taking care of the body to a certain level. So I'm always learning my body. That's the thing, as an athlete, you always learn your body. So continue to learn my body every day, and it's like, oh, wow, So now when I do my nutrition, I'm like, let me try some different things, and then and certain things happen. I just love the way the body can respond to certain things when you do it, because I take care of it,
And anything new that you've been trying?
I've been trying a lot of things new, man. In my condition, I increased my speed on my miles. I'm been running more miles. Executing my strength training to a different level. Train with a lot more professional athletes, not just MMA fighters. I barely do. I don't do conditioning with MMA fighters. I train with a lot of professional athletes when we're doing strength and conditioning. And we just pushing each other. Just keeping my head up high, staying motivated, and continue to think about the future.
What have been some of those differences that you found from going to an athlete strength and conditioning program versus what you've seen as an MMA fighter conditioning program?
I learned that a lot of MMA fighters really have no idea about nutrition and their bodies at all. I've been in fitness a long time, but at the end of the day, you have to be humble and let somebody come into your life and help you too. So, my strength conditioning as an athlete, I do a lot. Require weight training, strength training, pushing pulls. I don't isolate. I don't work out like a bodybuilder. I work out to be long and wiry and to be strong. I don't just do sprints like most MMA fighters do. I run miles. I run 5.5 miles on Thursday, 2.5 miles on Tuesday. But I get my sprints. We do sprints when we doing high intense, crazy training with value. So those are things that I implemented in my last few training camps. And this time it was just to the extreme. I like to exert my body to the point that, I know when I get in the ring and your body heats up and you get tired, you get hot. I'd rather go through that now. So when I'm in the ring, I'm conditioned for that. So that's what changed.
And were you hesitant to start that program, or how did that happen?
Just by having man, after that last fight, just coming back, and I was just like, you know what, let me make some phone calls and change some things up in my game. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of guys that I talk to with the strength and conditioning, as well as a good friend of mine, Field that road trains on the American Top Team. I'm always going back and forth with him and seeing what he's doing and how can I implement some things into my training, and then getting those tips from him, and you know what I'm saying, and seeing what I can do by implementing that into my program, and see if it works out, and it works out. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that take place. Doing yoga, doing a lot of yoga, a lot of stretching, a lot of athletic stretching, with certified stretching coaches. There's a certain type of stretch that you need to be stretching as an athlete. And I get that stuff done too, man. Just like I said, it's all about really taking care of the body. And by me taking care of my body, I feel more explosive now. And I can see in my training. My training now is different from the way I look now sparring is different from the way I was sparring last time. My last camp, you know what I'm saying? My last camp was amazing too, but I'm always looking to be better than the Daniel James from yesterday.
Talking about that and wanting to move forward, moving to bigger, better things. Last time I talked to you, you thought the win over Patrick Martin, it would either be this title fight or be a UFC call-up. Do you see this belt almost as it could be the finish line for your regional career?
Yeah, it has to be the finish line. The thing is, I have done everything. Like, it can't be no backtracks. There's no other regional promotion that could bring another show like this. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for LFA is the biggest platform, even though the promotion kind of going through some things with the network. But hey, it's whatever. That just gives me more motivation to do what I have to do. Getting the LFA strap, I think that should be a farewell to the UFC. What else is next? Is it the UFC or somebody else? Like, somebody has to just pull the plug and just say, welcome home. I'm ready for those guys. I'm ready to do what I have to do. When I'm going to the UFC, I don't need to fight a one-on-one. You can give me whoever you want to give me on the roster. I'm that type of athlete. I can compete with anyone right now in the UFC.
We also know near and dear to your heart is your city, an activist in the most positive sense of the word. Do you have any other updates or any activities right now going on? Any campaigns or anything?
Yeah, man. Thanks for asking that too. Yeah. Hooperdemics, we actually doing a explosion for the kids. We actually doing a big fundraiser. We did one a few months ago. Actually, before the last night, I talked to you about it. We did have 400 kids and parents show up to this event. We did raffles and signing auctions and stuff like that. Gave away a lot of things and showcased the kids' talent and let them, do their tournament play. Gave away everything: book bags, gym uniform, the uniforms that they need to travel. We took the kids to Vegas this summer, California this summer to play for national tournaments. Right now we're ready for the winter travel team. So right now we just doing our own exposure thing. People can go to hooperdemics.com. That's hooperdemics.com. And look and see what's going on. We actually doing a fundraiser. You can make donations if you want. It's big in Chicago. Everybody in Chicago is on board. So they can check that out at hooperdemics.com and see what we got going on, man. Get free prize, good prizes, raffles, you know what I'm saying? Just to inspire and help kids to reach their potential goals in the sport and education and academics.
Awesome. Always great to be giving back to the community and trying to help out.
Yes, sir.
Daniel James, it's always great getting to talk to you, sir. Were the people you need to thank, people you need to shout out to?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank my coaches, man, Alexander Trujillo, Coach Barry Hopkins, man, my training partners, Brian Peterson, also my other boxing coach, Shannon State, Dave Latora, Kaylin Hewell, my opponent from LFA. We've been training partners, man, and became friends. He's been an amazing training partner. And he's ready for war too by the eye. And I just like to thank everybody that took place in this camp, man, and the people around Chicago that's showing support here. We got 150 people coming down to Minnesota, so be ready to have some fun. If I missed anybody, man, I'm sorry, but, it's showtime.
Mystic Lake Casino, get ready for it. LFA 77 this Friday.